right, what's going on, guys? So I got super excited this morning, and all these different ideas are like running in my head. And I was like, how fast can I create a website and put together a workflow? So basically, I have an AI system that can create websites pretty much just by talking to it, and it creates some pretty amazing stuff. So super excited about it. Let's get into it. Okay, so over here on my secondary screen, I have this whole AI, build a website type thing. And I'll show you prompt for prompt what exactly I did. It looks even cooler. I didn't realize it did that. All right, so anyway, all I did was go to the top and I said, please create a funnel page for DJs that want to learn how to close more leads. I want the colors to be neon orange. Let's have an opt-in form, name, phone number, and email has to be mandatory type thing. And then basically it printed out something like this. And I went ahead and then changed a few things along the line, right? So over here, as I was going down, I didn't need it to be all about DJs, but event pros, right? So I didn't want to exclude like event venues or caterers or photographers or something like that. But DJs would be kind of like the main focus, because that seems to be like the biggest thing. Every DJ out there wants to, get more leads and that kind of thing. But right here would be like just prompts that I was telling it to do. And then again, this is a service that I offer. So I'll move my head over here so you can take a look at all the different prompts that I was giving it. Over here, it was saying some different things that I changed, right? So you can take a look at what I said. I said slow follow-up, no automations or nurture sequence. I don't even know if DJs even know what that means, but basically it's just emails and text messages saying, hey, look at me, or here's some information that's beneficial, right? And then we have getting leads to see the path, right? So a lot of leads will reach out and they'll just be like, oh, what's your prices? And then, well, there's a rhyme and reason to things. How about we sit down and talk about your event day? So being able to, hold your guns and being and getting leads to, see why the process makes sense, right? So when I've been working with other DJs and they just so eager to people please type thing, right? So I understand that's important. I understand we're doing a service. And at the same time, you just want to make sure that they follow along and that they trust what you got going on. Now, how does that happen, right? That happens by, having your systems in line, right? Having your blueprint mapped out, right? So a lead comes in, they ask for your prices, and you say, hey, look, let's sit down. And then what happens is you get their information, you put them into the system starts sending them, oh, this is what we can do for you. This is why we do so many events a year. This is all the different information that you're going to share with them. And then they start to understand, why your service is the way it is. Now, I understand there's different types of clients and people that are, just want answers, like especially corporate clients. They just want the information, they want it now, and they want to move on with their life, right? So, and that's a little bit different than, somebody who's in their 20s getting married, and I know they have a lot going on. And then you can empathize with them as well. Like, hey, look, I know you got a lot going on. Let me explain to you why this stuff matters. So even if you do talk to somebody else, which is something I would hope they do anyway, so they can see the A and B, comparison difference, between us and other people, where we want you to be as educated as possible so you make the best decision, right? So again, if you want to close more leads, right, and then you want to be able to put up information fast like this will be like an informational training video. Now, here's another thing too, and this process all works, the same as me talking to you versus you talking to a bride, right? So as we look at the screen, you just put your information in, and then there's going to be what is called an automation that fires off, right? A list of different things. So basically, I called this thing Gig Getter, right? And then now it's just, inside of my workbench, right? I haven't posted it live yet. But the whole idea would be that you would create what is called a workflow. And then, well, we're going to skip the trigger, but basically, inside of the AI, I could ask, what's the name of this form, right? And then the form would be the trigger. And then, well, you would just create a series of emails and text messages that would go along the line to follow up with people. If you want to learn more about how to get more gigs and make people feel comfortable within your ecosystem, there's so many different things to go over. So make sure to go to aibusinessspection.com or try.aibusinessspection.com, and let's get you started.